I promised you guys that I was going to get GoPro footage out from my race last Tuesday at Sandown. I'm currently just in the process here of about to start editing it. I'm just going to keep it pretty basic. Give me some feedback and let me know if you want anything else. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the last 10 minutes of the race and give you some feedback on as much of that as I can. A little bit happens, not too much. I'll just go through how I was in the race, how I was feeling, positions, a few little things that were that happened towards the end, and that's about it. I didn't place in the race. I finished towards the end, last third of the group with the bunch, but it was good fun, good experience, and good quality C grade race compared to what I'm normally used to. I'll give it a crack. I'll get stuck into the narrating. I think it's about 10.5 minutes. Hope it's alright to watch. I've never done this before, so any feedback will be good. Alright guys, here I go. So basically here, I'm sitting behind the leader as we buzz around. This is coming into the second last lap here. I've basically been sitting towards the front, trying to avoid all crashes, basically a nerves thing, I think, but I've pretty much tried to stay in the top, probably 10 to 20% of the riders at all time. I think there was about 50 riders that started. I'm not 100% sure. There may have been a bit less. There may have been a bit more. A lot more than I'm used to. Out at Casey Fields, where I ride near me, we usually only get about 20 to 30. So this was completely different as well. At Carnegie Caulfield Cycling Club, it's a lot younger. So you got a few more whippets running around. And yeah, a lot more competitive, a lot quicker. I'd probably compare the C grade at Casey Fields would be more like maybe a D grade, borderline C grade for the Carnegie Caulfield, but I don't know. I got to do a few more to figure it out. Anyway, so here, yeah, basically we're coming into, pretty sure this is the second last lap. A bloke in front of me there, Theo, is a big strong rider. He loves sitting up the front. Does it nearly every week. But as you can see, there's a lot of young kids in here. At the moment I'm feeling alright. We're sitting on, I think we averaged about close to 38 for the whole race. Might have been a bit more. And it was a pretty close race. Like no one really got. There was a few attacks that went on during the race before this. A couple of people tried to give it a go. One guy gave it about 3 or 4 goes, but none were really successful. There goes one now. He's taking off. This is a common part for everyone which I found out pretty quickly, where everyone attacks this as we come into this turn here. It's kind of like a false flat. This bit's a bit flatter, but it turns around to the right ever so slightly, and starts to increase everyone starts to increase their speed as they start to go up this little hill. So there's a few little attacks here. This one off the front here, that was nearly got away. So I've sat tucked in behind this number 3, and he's seen me. There was nearly an accident here, so I've sat on his wheel. I knew he'd seen me, so I thought, alright, I'm good to go here. We'll sit on his wheel and we'll try and chase these guys back. But out of nowhere, for some reason, he puts the anchors on, and yeah, we just there, a few boys nearly ran straight up behind me. So you just got to be really careful and make sure you know exactly what's going on around you at all times, because that could have been pretty bad for everyone. Yeah, so these boys who got off the front, they got pulled back. It didn't take too long. You can see my head pop into screen every now and then as I'm sprinting. So this bit I was actually hurting a little bit here. They were really going for it. This guy here in front of me now, he rode a pretty strong race. He kept on trying to attack. Kudos to him. I'm not sure who placed and if he did well, but he was a really aggressive rider. It was good to watch. Now there's a few corners here before we come into the main straight again for the last lap. So right now I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I'm thinking to myself, I'm in a pretty good spot. There's only, I'm in the top, say, 10 riders, and there's probably about another 30 riders, maybe 40, I'm not sure, behind me. That corner there has everyone kicks out of it so big time, and then puts the anchors on just up here. I'm not sure why, but it's just a pretty common thing. I start to lose a few positions here, which I wasn't 100% sure about what I should be doing. Then I said to myself, I knew a few faces, as in the other riders, so I tried to find a rider who I thought was pretty strong, and basically tried to stay with him. He hasn't come into screen yet, but I'll point him out when he does. Anyway, so now we're coming into the straight for the last lap. I'm still sitting between kind of the 10 to 15 position, I think. No one's gone down. It's been a pretty good race. The wind was very minimal. There's a few attacks that go here on the right that get caught pretty quickly. It was just attack. There was actually a fair bit of attack, but they all got brought back pretty quick. There was no wind, and the bunch was moving quite quickly. This bloke here in the pink socks, I looked at him and I said, you know what, I'm going to try and stay on his wheel. I'd had a word from someone that he was a pretty good rider as well, so I thought to myself, I'll try and hang around him as you see an attack go off on the right again, which gets caught pretty quickly. But I thought to myself, I'll try and stick with this guy. As a beginner, I highly suggest to do something like that. Pick a rider that you know is going to be strong, and maybe just try and mirror what they do and hold with them for the majority of the race. I've found it a pretty good way to learn how to go about riding through the bunch, and also being in the right position at the right time. So as you can see, riders are continually kind of creeping around, trying to gain position now. I was starting to hurt a little bit here. Everyone was starting to kick on a bit more, but I said to myself, I need to find someone who I can sit on, who I know is going to, or I thought might be there at the end. I went wide on the last two corners just to really give myself some space, because the pace was building a fair bit. Not meaning to, I found myself right next to the guy I was looking for, and then out the front. And right now, in this position with no bikes in front of me, I'm saying to myself, what are you doing? And I know the race is pretty much gone for me, so I'm just going hell for leather now to try and hold on to this bunch. Worst spot you could probably be is at the front in that situation up this hill, because one thing I learned at Sandown, on the top hill, the middle third always moved around like the front third, and yeah, as you can see, that was about maybe 10 to 15 riders who just swooped around me really quickly, and I was going full gas right now just to pretty much stay on with these guys. As we ride on here, you'll see one or two guys attack along the right hand side of the road, which is really, really smart thing to do. So everyone's gone full gas to try and prove a point up this hill, and I think it was one guy who might have got a podium out of doing this. He appears on the right hand side of screen. There he goes now. And he just waited on the wheels, and as soon as everyone eased up that little bit after that sprint up the hill, he was gone. So right now I'm saying to myself, okay, the race is gone. What can I get out of this? I was just basically just trying to stay with the bunch and not come off with about 30 seconds of a race to go. So it was really, really good fun. There was a couple of hairy moments. As you can see, I'm probably about 20th wheel out of about 40 there, but it was really, really good fun. There was a few hairy moments where someone's brakes went up my bum and he nearly came off the handlebar in the arse, and There was another moment where that guy put his brakes on in front of me, and I had to put mine on and nearly caused something. But it is good fun, but you still just really have to be careful. You got to be aware of what's going on at all times, following that front wheel. Don't be crossing wheels, and don't be doing simple things like overtaking on the inside. And if you are going to do anything, make sure you voice it, which seems to be pretty acceptable from what I've learned. But this is the finish here now, so everyone's gone. I've put the anchors on and thrown the white flag, and that's it for me. But it was a really, really good race. I really enjoyed it, and so I hope that was alright, guys. I gave it a crack, a bit of narrating. Give me some feedback on what else I can do. If you want to see more of the race, if you want to see less of the race, if you want to see more of it, but part of it sped up. Any questions you got for me about racing, if you want to start racing, anything at all, just ask me. I might not have the answer, but I'll be able to get it. Yeah, and that's it, pretty much. So until my next vlog, I think I might race tomorrow night or Wednesday night or Thursday night, but I don't know which one yet. You'll be sure to see one of them, and that's about it. So speak to you soon, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Catch up.